apocalyptic landscape. Destroyed houses, shattered glass, abandoned cars speak of one thing. Something went wrong in this world. A yawning guy walks along the streets of the already dead city, seemingly unfazed by the monsters lurking in the corners, vehicles, and buildings of the city. These monsters had 6 eyes that shone brightly in red, resembling dogs in their stance. They also had sharp, scalpel-like teeth and a rhinoceros-like horn right in the center of their faces. "Oh, how annoying," muttered the passing guy in the presence of these mystical creatures. It seemed like he couldn't care less about these rather frightening beings. They growled at him, expressing their readiness to tear him apart at any moment. The guy continued to walk forward nonchalantly. The young man asked himself, why the hell did that bastard run all the way here? By the way, let's talk about the guy's appearance. He had a short haircut and a not-so-rough masculine face. His eyes were violet in color. He was dressed in some kind of armor, with metal armor on his shoulders, and his body was covered in black attire resembling leather. He also wore long, seemingly leather gloves for hand protection. His gaze fell upon one of the walls of a multi-story building. "Seems like I'm not far from Anyan?" "Ah!" the warrior suddenly exclaimed. Those same red-eyed creatures had gathered around a human body. They mercilessly devoured the poor soul. The fallen man's pupils rolled back into his sockets. Blood trickled from under his right eye, and one of the creatures attempted to tear out a piece of his chest muscle. "Found him. Well, it's only advantageous for me that he surrendered." The protagonist retrieves a saber from his pocket. Messages pop up before the guy's eyes. Monster 435 noticed you. Monster 228 noticed you. Monster 222 noticed you. The thought crosses the guy's mind. Who came up with these crappy names anyway? The monsters become furious, drooling hot saliva from their mouths. They rush at the guy with furious speed. In the blink of an eye, one of the creatures is already near the warrior's shoulder. In a fraction of a second, the guy raises his saber. New messages appear. You activated an upgrade. You activated multiplication. The guy starts slashing the abominations, cutting them into tiny pieces like a true maniac. The events transport us to some gates. Knocking sounds are heard at the door. "Hey, open up!" The gates swing open. The main character is greeted by many people. The player of the challenging mode, Gyeomjun Gyeong, addresses the main character. "Hyun, you're back. I'm dying of boredom. Can't you send someone else on these missions? You already know that no one but you, Hyun, is capable of this." "What about that runaway lord?" Gyeomjun Gyeong asks, intrigued. "He died. Monsters devoured his body," the guy calmly says. These words shock his interlocutor. "What? But he was a player in the challenging mode. So quickly?" "But he was a player in the challenging mode. So quickly? There were 3 A-rank monsters tearing his body apart. Ah, A-rank monsters!" These thoughts don't leave the excited guy's mind. Players in the challenging mode are strong, but one A-rank monster is equal in strength to such a player. If there were already 3 of them, it's dangerous. We need to deal with them quickly. The guy is not just worried anymore. He's scared because it's not a joke. "Hyun, where were those 3 monsters?" Gyeomjun Gyeong asked. "I already killed them," Hyun replied. "Ah, I see." Hyun turned around and started walking away. "I'm hungry. Let's go grab something to eat at the cafe." "Oh, Hyun, just tell me honestly, are you really a player in the easy mode?" Gyeomjun Gyeong asked. He turned back. "Yes, indeed, I'm a player in the easy mode," Kang Tae sang. "What nonsense are you talking about? Many people went through the labyrinth with me. Ask them. All the players in the easy mode, except for you, have already died, didn't you know? And the new ones that appear, they die within a day or 2. Gyeomjun waved his hands as he spoke. Hyun's expression changed slightly, indicating that he really didn't know about this information. "Really? Honestly, how does a player in the easy mode even survive here? Even players in the normal mode struggle, so you seem strange, Hyun. How is it that you're so strong?" Kang Tae-sang asked. "I'm actually a player in the challenging mode, but I'm not suitable to help you." Kang Tae-sang fell silent for a few seconds and looked at his comrade. "You were just lucky to clear that stage." "There you go again," the friends laughed. probably recalling something amusing. The scene shifts to the cafeteria. Potatoes again? Is there really nothing else? Kang Tae-sang stood there with a dissatisfied expression on his face. But you have sweet potatoes and corn, Hyun said with a mouthful of potatoes. Well, what can you do if potatoes have the best price? Even with simple cultivation, we have limits, the player of the challenging mode said. Hyun, didn't you learn the skill of simple cultivation? Kang Tae-sang asked. Why would a player in the easy mode learn something like that? Wherever we go, there's food available. Well, in the end, you're right, Hyun replied. On the street, curses and angry speech could be heard. Stop talking nonsense! This can't be true! A voice exclaimed. Hey buddy, calm down, said Kang Tae-san. Looks like another cleaner has arrived, added the potato lover. I think after the commotion they'll calm him down and slowly explain everything. Phew. Seems like he's a player in hard mode. You better stand up, Hyun, Kang Tae-san said. Tae-san, quickly help me deal with this bastard. Hyun turned to his comrade. Tae-san turned around and saw the following scene. A significant dent on a concrete wall and frightened guards scattering in different directions. Don't lie to me! And this is Earth! Everything was supposed to end after the last return! Is this some kind of trick? Stop playing around! Kang Tae-san exclaimed in confusion. Why not Lee Tae-yeon? The unknown person asked. Because he's currently on a mission, Kang Tae-san replied. Meanwhile, on the street. Dude, this is none other than Earth. The world has changed a bit while you were stuck in the labyrinth, so calm down and listen to me. The guy punches someone in the face. Back off, huh? He's annoying, the main character muttered quietly, and good luck wishes can be heard from his companion behind him. If my potato doesn't wait for me, I'll kill you. The comrade briefly considered secretly eating his potato, but quickly changed his mind and put it back in place. Unfortunately, this is Earth. Humanity is on the brink of extinction. The angry guy looked very angry. This is all nonsense! Are you even listening? This can't be Earth! Do you all know how many players there are? How could they lose to a couple of pathetic monsters? Stop lying. Kang Tae-san immersed himself in his thoughts for a moment. Here we go again. Most players who returned from the labyrinth go crazy because they can't accept reality. It happens quite often, and it's not easy to come to terms with it. Kang Tae-san sighed heavily. There's only one method left. All right, I'll have to knock all the crap out of you and bring you back to reality. Name, request for a battle initiated. The stranger stated his name, Lee Chang-chun. Battle? Who are you anyway? Kang Tae-san? Kang Tae-san? That bastard who was all over the community board despite being a player in easy mode? Don't make me laugh. A player in easy mode dares to challenge a player in hard mode? Don't you know that the difference in our strength is like night and day? Shut up and fight. If you win, I'll show you the real world you're eagerly waiting for. The main character replied, preparing for the showdown. Lee Chang-hun gritted his teeth and was about to launch into battle. Spare no mercy! I don't care if you die from my attack! Chang swings his sword in all directions, demonstrating his power. Enhancement activated. Half of the base attack power is added to the current attack. Focus activated. Increased chance of your attacks hitting the target. Power strike activated. Your next attack will deal significantly more damage. Enhancement and power strike? Kang Tae-san thought to himself. The enemy's sword sparkled with various whims, and energy discharges emanated from it in different directions. He lunges with the sword, makes a lunge, and the sword is already at the main character's forehead. Something unpleasant is about to happen. First strike neutralization activated for Kang Tae-san. The strike goes through, but absolutely no damage is done. 0 damage to Kang Tae-san. What? The opponent is slightly stunned. Hot steam from the sword billows in all directions, while the main character stands undisturbed in place. Are you done yet? The opponent is furious. My attack didn't work? What does this neutralization of damage mean? I've never heard of such a thing in my life. Now it's my turn, right? Suddenly, a counterattack flies towards him. I've been hit! The opponent thinks in a state of shock. Lee Chang-chun's defense activation. The received damage is halved. All-powerful justice activation for Kang Tae-san. The opponent's defensive skills are ignored. 49 damage to Lee Chang-hun. Lee shrinks from the insignificant pain compared to the difference in strength. Only 49 damage? Exactly. He won't be able to cover the huge gap in power between hard and easy modes. The opponent's spirit slightly revived. You have 10,000 health, right? Doubling enhancement activated for the next attack. Multiplication activated, squaring the next attack. All-powerful justice activated. The opponent's defensive skills are ignored. Wait, come on, take this hit. He first lightly strikes the opponent's nape. For a fraction of a second, the opponent is surprised that nothing happens, but in the following seconds, he is lying in a huge dent in the concrete, created by his face hitting the ground. 9,604 damage to Lee Chang-hun. Now do you understand? This is Earth. Lee groans. Enough with the nonsense. He starts crying. Why is the world like this? If everything turned out this way, I'd rather not have cleared the labyrinth. When peace still reigned on the planet, one day the heavens suddenly split open, and various monsters appeared. They killed indiscriminately, children, women, men. They destroyed and burned everything to the ground. People were given the following choice: 4 modes: easy, normal, hard, and solo. Players who entered the labyrinth, after choosing the difficulty mode, could only return to the Earth after clearing the labyrinth. Meanwhile, while they were clearing the labyrinth, a true apocalypse was unfolding on Earth, and it remained that way. People had no choice but to return to a world covered with monsters and engulfed in ruins. Well, what else could we do? We had to try to save such a world. Thank you, Hyun. Great job. Did you come? Well, of course, I had to watch your fight. Joyfully waving, dressed in armor, the comrade of the main character. Yes, but still, you're incredible. Just like that, taking down a player in a difficult mode. Crying Lee was taken to the doctor's room by some guys in armor. What's so special about beating up a weakling? A potato flies into Kang Tae-sang's hand. He's not weak. You're just too strong, Hyun. Now my potato is cooled down, so I didn't want to get involved. But seriously, where did you get those new abilities? Asked the friendly comrade. And what about the almighty justice? Ignoring defense? Hard to believe such things exist. And what about that cheat skill that nullifies the first attack? No one else has these skills, Hyun. How did you get them? Through some... Chewing on the potato, Kang replied. Well, here we go again. Huh? Another player? There are so many of them today. No, I don't think so. The fighter became wary. Among the applauding people, there was a very attractive girl. It seems that Lee Tae-yeon has returned. She was beautiful. Her eyes were azure, and her hair was silky, blown by the wind. Her skin was shining in the sun. Let's not even talk about her figure. The events take place in some museum, where in the center of the room stands a huge skeleton, apparently that of a dinosaur. They care about decorations even when humanity is dying. This damn thing is incredibly annoying. Even when monsters are filling everything around, only one person could have brought such a huge painting without a single scratch. The only person who cleared the solo mode. And why is a woman like you, Lee Tae-yeon, the strongest person in the world? The girl thought for a moment and replied, In our situation, it's very important to focus on something. Why don't you consider taking up a hobby too? Let's talk about it when we finally have time. The fighter asked the woman, Why did you call me? She responded, I heard that you taught a lesson to that jerk in the difficult mode. The easy mode player raises the player in the difficult mode. No matter how many times I hear it, it's strange. A semi-transparent screen appears in front of the girl's face. Her characteristics were displayed there. Lee Tae-yeon, level, 258 GP, 45,810 out of 45,810 MP, 7,020 strength, 10,152, intellect, 9,899 agility, 13,254 attack, plus 5, 421 defense, plus 8, 456 status, currently afraid. Are you bragging? The guy asked. Just checking something. Show me your window, please, the girl replied. So are you bragging after all? Do you have something against players in easy mode? Kang Tae-sang, level, 57 GP, 1,021 out of 1,021 MP, 820 out of 820, strength, 105 intellect, 100 agility, 92 attack, plus 49 defense, plus 58 status, currently in peak condition. Pathetically weak as expected, the girl said. The guy throws down a trump card. You want to fight? Just checking, she says again. But for an easy mode player, these stats are quite decent. You could say they've somewhat redeemed themselves and made excuses, the heroine says. The labyrinth is divided into 4 difficulties. As the labyrinth is cleared by the player, their growth stops, leading to an incredible difference in power and abilities. The stats of hard mode players are at least 10 times higher than Tae-san's, but none of them can withstand a single hit from his attack, and it's all because of the skills that Tae-san possesses. The girl took out some device that emitted a purple light. Hold on for a moment, Lee Tae-yeon said, activating enhancement. Half of the base attack is added to the current attack. Lee Tae-yeon activated an augmentation. The next attack is doubled. Lee Tae-yeon activated Flawless Pursuit. The next attack will hit the target guaranteed. The girl prepared to attack. Skills can be acquired regardless of difficulty. Supported by the skills obtained by Tae-san, the girl attacked the main character. The most powerful attack for him feels like a gust of wind. The quality of the skills obtained by Tae-san is simply astounding. Nullification of Kang Tae-san's first attack is activated. 0 damage to Kang Tae-san. And what was the point of that? Just felt like it, whatever. Complete nullification of the attack, almighty justice, exponential attack, simple time stop. Such interesting skills. You have around 200 of them, right? The lady asks. Yeah, around 230, the guy says, brushing off the dust from his shoulder. Are you saying that you acquired all these skills thanks to your strategy during the tower run? The girl asks. We should have explored it more thoroughly. We should have tried to become as strong as possible instead of solely focusing on clearing the labyrinth, the girl lamented. Who knows? It's all in the past now. It's not just about that, the guy says. Well, you're incredible in any case, the girl says. We could have won, even if you chose single-player mode. Tae-san's skills are strong, but most of them rely on his stats as the foundation. A rather unpleasant picture emerges. Tae-san stands amidst the graves of his fallen comrades. His team is defeated. If only you were a hard mode player. No, at least a normal one. People had high hopes for him, but weak stats mostly dashed those hopes. In other words, at the moment, Tae-san couldn't even use half of his skills. Suddenly, Tae-san didn't want to continue the topic. Maybe we should stop talking about it, he said. Let's get down to business. You're back from the patrol, right? The guy asked. Yes, the next wave is about to begin, the girl said. Guy's face changed, horror gripping him to the core. Horrific monster flashbacks raced through his mind. So, this is the end for us, the guy chuckled ironically. During the so-called monster waves, the attacks were massive. After each wave, many people perished, and our territory dwindled. After the first wave, humanity lost soul. It simply turned into a chaotic inferno, a pile of human corpses, and a jumble of metal and concrete debris. Half of the hard mode players lost their lives in the second wave, and in the third wave, we could only defend a small town. Craters the size of the United States Capitol surrounded that town. And now, the fourth wave is about to strike any moment. Soldier asked a question. How many? The girl stood up and replied, 2 C ranks, several dozen A ranks, a few hundred B ranks, and there's an apostle as well. 2 S ranks that even Lee Tae-yeon struggles with. We also have a few hard mode players left who can handle A ranks, not to mention the apostle, who is stronger than a C rank. Is defeat inevitable then? But we have to at least try. Tae-san, will you take on the C ranks? The guy protested, Are you sending me to my death? The girl retorted, I'll have to fight the apostle, and you're the only one who can challenge them. You know that very well. You're a thorn in my ass. The guy sighed and sadly touched the doorknob. The girl turned to him and asked, Will you go tell the others? We need to give them a chance to emotionally prepare. Or do you want them to die in ignorance? That might be a happier option. The guy replied that he doesn't think so and slammed the door. The satisfied girl went to her workstation, if it could be called that, muttering to herself, Tyson, you're strong. You could have led us to victory. But you see, I'm a coward. Damn. Comrade Taesan hears crying. 2 guys and a girl were sobbing against the wall. They were in hysterics. I knew this day would come, but the feelings are still shitty. It seems like these people are already tasting the impending doom. Taesan approaches from behind. How's life? I've come to terms with it. We've managed to hold on for quite a while. To live so long, I would call it a blessing. What the hell kind of blessing is that? You're gonna die. Taesan glanced at his comrade. Poor guy. Just look at him. They looked at their former enemy, Kat's Taesan Lee. He must have suffered in the labyrinth, all for the sake of finding out that on the day of his return to Earth, he's simply waiting for death. What an unlucky existence. And you, Hyun? I'll be honest, I thought you'd be the angriest. Humanity wouldn't be dying if we had done even half of what you did in the labyrinth. The guys pondered, gazing at the walls of the last small town, contemplating what awaits them and imagining the tragic fate that will befall them. Well, fine. I'm so enraged it's killing me. Satisfied? The guys shift their gaze downwards, towards the roads passing by the walls. Monsters were rampaging on them. One of them resembled some kind of reptilian creature, and there were quite a few of those. There were creatures that vaguely resembled spiders, but mostly they were reptilian. Damn, it's insane! Who will you be fighting there, Hyun? 2 S-ranked ones? See you in the afterlife? You'll probably get there first. Will you wait for me? Seems like the situation is as tense as it gets. The guy lightened the mood a bit with his ironic jokes. The warrior simply replied, Of course! He pushed off from the high wall and surprisingly flew upwards instead of downwards. Large leap activated. He fluttered in space like a butterfly. It seemed like he was as light as a feather. Full observation activated. His gaze fell on the surface. He glanced at his radar and spotted 2 large blips. Apparently those were the infamous S-ranked monsters. You witnessed the horrifying creatures with your own eyes. The guy addressed the soulless and grotesque beings. Happy to see me? These creatures were truly dreadful and enormous. They resembled octopuses, only many times larger, hovering in space. Their eyes glowed with bright red lights, not just lights but massive spotlights. Initiating psychic instability check, initiating confusion, initiating fear check, initiating instant death check. All checks completed. You withstood the use of steel will. Your mental state remains intact. Kan-tae-san stood in full combat readiness, surrounded by terrifying creatures. Your body is developing unwavering physique, the informant notified. Die, you bastards! In the warrior's thoughts, I hope none of them are a defense type. The notification displays a message. You have activated full observation. Monster 7, defense type. HP 148,551,233. Oh god, it was so terrifying and grotesque. In structure, it resembled a mushroom and a bright blue octopus. It was the size of a 5-story, 4-entrance apartment building. Its enormous eye, the size of a compact car, stared directly at the main hero. Suddenly, it lunged upwards and landed with tremendous force, causing a small earthquake. When it realized it had missed its target, a roar echoed. 148 million health points! You've got to be kidding me! I'll be fighting it for an eternity! The guy took hold of his sword, which was already pulsating with red lightning. You have activated body time acceleration. Now what about this? The guy thought to himself. Attack type, ranged, HP 1,255,212, 1.2 million hit points, quite possible I suppose. And right after that thought, the creature lunges into an attack. But I don't have a choice anyway. The guy slices off the attacking creature's tentacles. 42 damage to Monster 5, 38 damage to Monster 5. Its crown decreases when its tentacles are attacked. 32 damage to Monster 5. The fighter realizes he needs to aim straight for the head. The warrior flies straight into the maw of this demon, towards its grotesque head. The creature lands directly on the back and prepares to launch an attack with a laser beam. The guy is in the center of the beam, but fortunately, he has a skill. The complete nullification of the first attack is activated. The guy is about to be fried in the energy beam, but his skill kicks in. A message notifies him that the hero takes 0 damage. Apparently, This attack is directed from the creature's tentacles. It has no delay, and dodging it is nearly impossible. The guy stumbles back slightly and plans his next actions. In seconds, the genius devises the correct course of action. So all I can do is predict the trajectory. If I figure it out, I can dodge it. The slower I understand, the more disadvantaged I'll be. The message indicates that he activates acceleration. A precise strike hits the monster right on the mark. There's no time to hesitate. The monster receives a devastating 8 units of damage, while the guy takes 5. The monster tightens its grip on Kantei-san and begins to annihilate him in the truest sense of the word. But luckily, the attack nullification skill activates once again. You receive 0 damage. Grr! The grotesque creature growls again. The guy flies out from its clutches and heads for the next attack on the bastard. But then something unexpected happens. He's protecting the second one? The monster, like a defender, shields the other monster from long-range attacks when it's in danger. That's probably why they appeared together in the first place. But the guy smiles like a maniac, showing all 32 teeth. Caught you! The warrior rushes to attack the defensive scum. A notification appears. You have forcefully initiated combat. A massive defensive capsule emerges around the creature. The attacking monster, confused by the situation, starts attacking the protective capsule. Lightning bolts race through the terrifying creature's protective field with immense force. The notification states, for 1 minute, you can only inflict damage on the monster 7 times. Outsmarting the system, the soldier ends up inside the defensive capsule. If Lee Tae-yeon were here, it would be much easier. After all, she has legendary equipment and characteristics from clearing the solo mode. Notification. You have activated an add-on. The next attack is doubled. You have activated multiplication. The next attack is squared. You have activated almighty justice. The opponent's defensive attacks are ignored. The guy's body and sword took on a different appearance, with the sword charged with energy and the body ready for a stunning attack. But the guy plunges into thoughts again for a split second. The defender type wouldn't be able to damage Lee Tae-yeon, and during that time, she would take care of the long-range type and then kill the second one. But I'm not capable of that. The guy goes straight towards the monster. It doesn't matter what type the monster possesses. With my characteristics, one strike would be fatal, but 9.604 is not enough. An unexpected message. You have activated the reset skill, which cannot be used for another month. You have reset multiplication. You have activated multiplication. The next attack is squared. The guy becomes determined. So let's first get rid of this B** starred with tons of health. The warrior's strike lands right inside the monster. I can only rely on my skills. 9.604 squared is still far from that number. Therefore, I must reach the limit. You have activated duplication. The next attack will be repeated twice. Boom! An astounding damage number. 92,236,816 damage to the Monster 7. Monster 7 is defeated. The guy stood on the defeated creature with the sword embedded inside, covered in sweat from the impact and excitement. Just as the guy wanted to catch his breath, a laser beam comes flying at him with a sizzling sound. He dodges it and receives 22,543 damage. Message. You have activated patience. The deadly attack is nullified. All damage for the next 5 seconds is reduced to 0. Ah! The guy is barely standing, his sword stuck in the ground. I've used up all my attack nullifications, and I only have one skill left, patience. With his last bit of strength, the soldier launches a desperate attack. It's his last chance. Message. 48 damage to Monster 5. Now the fight will be simple. Dodge, attack, repeat. The guy repeated this rule to himself like the 10 Commandments. But there's one problem. The problem is that the partially depleted information tablet notifies MP, 21 out of 820. I have no skills left. I have to whittle down 1.2 million health points with repetitive attacks alone. In other words, I'll have to hit it 25,000 times. Kantei-san laughed ironically. Ha ha ha, this is the end for me? After an eternity, it felt like. The monster's health stood at 655,212 out of 1,255,212. The guy's strikes didn't stop. Dawn was already breaking outside. 512,987 out of 1,255,212. The creature's hit points were dwindling. Taesan was incredibly exhausted, his body barely holding up, but his eyes burned with madness and rage that prevailed over his fatigue. Notification: you are in a state of complete concentration. Your body and mind have merged. Miraculous power is imprinted on your soul. You have gained a spiritual skill, increased interception. When you escaped from the labyrinth, you couldn't acquire this skill. Increased interception was sealed. The warrior paid no attention to the text. Shut up! Grr! The enormous creature lay on the floor in a pool of its own fluids. 48 damage to Monster 5. This was the final blow. Monster 5 is defeated. The guy screams and falls to his knees. New message: the gods of all dimensions cannot contain the triumph of your feet. How long have I been fighting? The soldier lost track of time. It felt like more than a month had passed. Damn attributes. It's time to return. The dude, limping, headed towards his hometown. The pool of blood trailed behind him, following the poor soul. The radar beeped. Beep, beep, beep. The poor guy walked through the corpses of his comrades, torn to pieces. Everything was literally covered in blood. "You bastards!" cursed the guy, trying not to cry at the sight before him. Voices of his fallen friends could be heard from the wreckage. The hero was hallucinating from exhaustion. "And you always said you would be among the few players left in this world's difficult mode. So why am I, a player in easy mode, the only one left? Why did I come back victorious only to see you all dead? You really went to the afterlife, just like you said." The main character looked at his mutilated dead friend. All the moments lived with this joker flashed before his eyes. And the warrior's gaze fell upon a monstrously sized crater. There lay the girl. The guy was on the edge. Was he really left alone in this merciless world? Lee Tae-yeon. She lay covered in blood, the sole survivor of the solo mode and the strongest person in the world. And she was killed. Before the guy, a structurally incomprehensible demonic creature appeared. It wasn't exactly liquid, more like a pile of slime, huddled into a tube. The eyes of this scum burned just like those of the previous creatures. It was this apostle who killed Lee. In the warrior's gaze, one could read curses in every language spoken by this suffering planet. The apostle had intelligence, and it looked at the warrior and said, "You will all die soon." The guy bravely responded to the bloodthirsty killer with a small but razor-sharp sword. "Shut up! Get out of here!" Message: resistance has been successful. The creature growled, "Grrr!" You activated the precision aim, damage inflicted in an unknown amount. "Attack, you son of a bitch!" Fearless Khan stared right into the monster's face. The strike was so powerful that neighboring houses began to crumble. Damn it, the stinking glowing fluid spilled all over the floor. The apostle threw the soldier tens of meters away. So this is how it all ends. The apostle hurled the guy to the ground. Message: your health has reached 0, resilience activated. You will be forcibly kept alive for 1 minute. The guy screamed in hysteria. "Bastards! Let me die peacefully at least. I can't feel my lower body." It seems that besides piercing my heart, he also broke my spine. The great warrior thought to himself while coughing up blood. Resilience only delays my death. It doesn't heal. I'll die in a minute. And he seems to know that too, damn it. If only I hadn't chosen the easy mode back then. Damn it, even a normal one. No, useless bastards. You couldn't even properly build your own strength because you were too scared to clear the labyrinth. Why were you such weaklings, whether in normal or hard mode? If you had at least completed half of my work. The soldier cried and pounded his fist on the ground. Memories of the fallen began to crack. "We could have..." The lad began to lose consciousness. "Screw it. That's already in the past, and I chose this path myself. There's no point in blaming others. Humanity will meet such an end." Suddenly, the stone in the girl's hand glowed bright purple. So she was trying to protect something too. The soldier, lying heartless with a broken spine, reached out for the girl. Don't move, the apostle grumbled. Message: you have activated the final chance with no restrictions to use one ability. Time stop. You activated a simple time stop. Time within a radius of 100 meters is frozen for 2 minutes. The guy crawled towards the girl's hand. Verification. Message: Ouroboros Bezoar of the gods, controlling the cycle of life. It can once restore the time of one person. What, going back in time? Why Li Tae Yon? The stone began to crack. The almost fallen warrior looked at the scum. See you another time, bastard. Kante sang. Shouts can be heard. Useless piece of shit. Why were you even born? Flashbacks flash by. In my childhood, I was just a means of stress relief for my parents. I believed their words after being beaten, and soon lost all faith in myself. It was precisely this weakness of mine that made me choose the easy mode. But now everything is different. Fate has never given anyone on Earth the chance to go back and correct their mistakes. Now everything is different. I know my own worth and talent. So this time, Khan opens his eyes, lying on the wooden floor of some room. He began gasping for air mercilessly. He took the phone in his hands. I really went back. The date on the broken smartphone showed that it was 2302, December 31st, 2019, and January 1st, 2020. Children, their parents, grandparents were playing in the snow outside. Who would have thought that on the eve of the new year, the earth would begin to fall? He knew what would happen, so he started eating the most delicious pizza. As they say, if the sea were pizza, I would become an emperor, an ancient saying. The taste was simply magnificent. After the apocalypse, we only ate potatoes and monster remains. The guy ate a full box. Phew. Who would have thought that Li Tae Yon had an item to go back in time? The guy's head was boiling with such thoughts. He couldn't tear himself away from his reflections and speculations. He was enjoying the ordinary, peaceful, and beautiful world. His joy knew no bounds, but a terrible event was already looming. But why didn't she use it until the very end? The Li Tae Yon I knew would surely have escaped. Well, who knows? He rushed out onto the balcony and looked at the time. It was 23:58 on the clock, and the beginning of the end was about to start. Currently, everyone in the world is undoubtedly counting time. People are joyful, children are excited, everyone is exchanging gifts and shaking hands. People gather to celebrate the new year, believing that everything will be set right once again. Unfortunately, right after the arrival of the new year, the entire world. It vanishes in the form in which it exists at the present moment. It has begun. Haven't you heard anything just now? Did some kind of event occur? The clock strikes midnight, the new year arrives, and with it, the apocalypse. Passing people raise their heads to the sky. What is this? Storms crash into houses, disappearing into the ground, and a terrible roar resonates throughout the world. Panic ensues. What the hell is going on? It's a monster! In panic, people trample on each other, running in different directions, while the creatures draw closer and closer. Our main character stands on the balcony with a sense of déjà vu, completely calm. Last time, I was just as shocked. But now I know what this is. It's roughly a rank B monster which a skilled player can handle easily. Well, isn't it time already? Message. Hello, your world will be destroyed by invaders. The weapons you possess are completely useless against them. The news is buzzing with it. People everywhere on the planet now see an interactive menu before their eyes with text. They are no longer humans, but players. Message. But don't worry, a compassionate being that sympathizes with you has decided to give you a chance. The real apocalypse is already raging around you. Children are engulfed by tongues of flame, and those creatures have no trace of feelings. Message. You will be given a choice. Choose one thing and enter the labyrinth. Just 3 minutes ago, beneath the guy's balcony, there was an ordinary world. Now, the asphalt melts along with the people due to the temperature created by the tongues of flame of the monsters. Message. Clear the labyrinth and gain power. The guy threw on his jacket and stepped outside. He looked around and muttered to himself, Damn, this is getting empathetic. Tired of all this performance. Message. Easy mode, normal mode, hard mode, solo mode. Well then, it's time to set off. Message: Easy mode. With abundant food supplies and resting spots scattered throughout the labyrinth, it becomes a true relief. Images of happy people by a fruit tree are displayed. Even an unremarkable person with a little effort will eventually clear this labyrinth. Normal mode. There is less food and resting spots, just like in easy mode, but scattered throughout the labyrinth. An image is shown of one of the creatures surrounded by people. Surviving is not as easy anymore, but with determination and fearlessness in the face of desperation, it is entirely possible to clear it. Hard mode. This mode truly tests your limits. Obtaining food is damn difficult, and resting is nearly impossible. An image is displayed of a huge monstrosity resembling an orc, with a few people fighting against it. Monsters will appear everywhere, seeking to kill you, and if you don't defend yourself, you'll lose your life in the most horrifying way. Solo mode. This mode leaves you in solitude. You won't encounter anyone from your world there. Only monsters, adversaries, and NPCs will cross your path. The guy reached out his hand. This place tests everything: luck, talent, wisdom, and strategy. Only if you possess all of these can you survive. His hand began to sink into a certain portal. If life is precious, it's better not to choose this mode. Is that true here? Wait for me. Message: Solo mode selected. May fortune be with you. The guy steps into the portal. The events shift to a mysterious world. Kante-san kneels down. The melancholy and patience you're experiencing, ha ha ha. The guy let out a relieved sigh. After how long, I've finally returned to this place. Chat. Kanjun Hyuk? Guys, what is this? Has the recording appeared already? I don't know who he is, but he's adapting quickly. The community is the only means of communication for people from different difficulty levels. It was helpful when others shared strategies. Fight on, the main character wrote in the community. The community can only be used later, so it's not important now. The guy closes the community tab and mumbles to himself. Now I need to check. What were the NPCs like in the easy mode, Tae-san? Just shells with predictable answers and repetitive behavior. And what's the difference? Mine were different, huh? NPCs in solo mode. They possess natural intelligence and move calmly, almost like real people. Approaching the gates that lead to the beginning of the labyrinth, Kantai-san saw a silhouette dozing near them. The gatekeeper of the gates leading to the start of the labyrinth in easy mode was just an old man with graying hair. You're already here? I thought I would have to wait for him somewhere else for another month. He is stronger than Tae-yong. Is that what they turned a simple gatekeeper into? Well, first of all, congratulations. I'm the Broken Man, the guardian of this place, and your guide. Broken Man, huh? A failed participant becomes a gatekeeper. Quite logical, isn't it? They already told you about it, right? Invaders are destroying your world. This place is an opportunity given to you by a compassionate transcendent. The fairly young-looking guard had a decent appearance, chain blue hair and eyes of the same color. But there was something missing in him. His eyes seemed soulless, empty. Although it's hard to say if that's a blessing. It would be better to just die. He speaks as if he has been through it himself. Tae-yong was right. NPCs in single-player mode are actually alive. Moreover, they are from a destroyed world. Why is he so calm? Shouldn't he be panicking after coming here from a peaceful existence? That's why I thought of beating him first and then explaining, but he doesn't seem nervous at all. Well, in general, this is a labyrinth. Some call it that. Some call it a tower, whatever suits the soul. It consists of 100 floors, and on every 10th floor, you will encounter difficult trials. The further you go, of course, the more difficult it gets. Inside the labyrinth, you'll have to find food for yourself and figure out all the details on your own. That's it. That's all? Did you think I would tell you what awaits on each floor? Ask the merchant inside. The guard yawned and sat down. The gatekeeper, with a rather bad temper, will beat you if you protest. I almost died before entering the labyrinth, you know? Now the guy finally understood why the girl was telling him all this. Understood. It's better to just keep your mouth shut. But I'll explain at least the basics. The guard turned to the guy again. He pulled out a spear and began waving it in different directions. And a second later, the cold blade touched the guy's neck. After that joke, he gave something to the guy. Take it. Message: sunburned leather armor. Defense +1. Seems like it can protect against weak blows. Rusty sword. Attack +1. It seems like it will break soon. The quality is not great. Don't like it? Nah, Khan replied. The guard fell silent, raised his hand to his chin, and stared at the guy. What's the matter? Khan asked the guard. Nothing, really. Here, take this, and that's not all. Message: worn wrist protection. Defense +1. It lost its initial value due to prolonged use. It seems like it can protect against animal bites. What's this? As far as I know, Taeyong never received anything like this. Many skills will be added, so check them too. Now enter. Yes, thank you. The warrior thanked the guard. Good luck, the guard said and pondered. Was he smiling? As if he wanted to enter the labyrinth. As a gatekeeper, I've encountered so-called geniuses, but none of them have made it through this labyrinth yet. But this guy, there's something different about him. Not just talent or abilities, something more fundamental. The strength to survive. I hope he survives. Message: this labyrinth was created long ago by a great wizard, and rumor has it that he grants anyone who enters with a single wish. This place is a prison where you can encounter horrifying creatures, and everything living perishes. Everything that exists in this place is designed to be a threat. Those who break through the abyss await eternal glory. The first floor is the entrance to the labyrinth. In this place, you cannot die from a single knife strike yet. The power of this place is not so great. The guy, reading all this for the second time, said, Well, let's begin. Message: the start of the main quest. Message: this place is full of hidden locations and secrets. Depending on how many of them you uncover, you will be rewarded upon completing the labyrinth. The quest of the first floor has begun. The surroundings around the main hero were as follows. Not two dark corridors resembling tropical Inca pyramids from the inside. Moss protruded from the walls, indicating high corridor humidity, and wax candles flickered above their heads. Message: defeat the boss of the first floor and progress further. Reward: a potion that enhances a random attribute. Secret reward? Another flashback. Tae-san, the merchant, was even in the easy mode, right? Yeah, he was. What kind of merchant was he? Well, the most basic. Their series: buy potions and move on. In our case, he was completely different and sold a lot of things. Are you bragging? Khan asked. Take a look at this. The girl shook her wrist, showing off a shiny bracelet. The bracelet of dark shadows, an incredible item that reduces incoming damage by 50%. And you could buy that in the store? There was much more there, but I couldn't afford it due to a lack of gold. If you bought the entire store, you could have become stronger than me. I used to not care about that, but now the situation has changed. The fighter knocked on an unfamiliar door. Upon opening it, he saw an old man puffing on a tobacco pipe. Already here? The old man remarked. Message: you have encountered the Lost King. Hello? Hello? Well, things seem to be going well for you, I can tell, replied the Lost King. What's your name? My name is Tassan. Are you the owner of this store? And what if I am? The young man averted his gaze. But your store is empty, isn't it? The old man grinned. Young man, to take all of my merchandise, you would need more space than the entire first floor of the labyrinth occupies. Besides, I have no intention of showing it to you. The old man frowned. A non-selling salesman, thought Khan. Is that so? Then why are you here? You think I'm here by choice? I had to leave the kingdom because of those damned monsters. What kind of life is this? The old man struck the table in anger. It doesn't matter. I just don't want to show them to you, that's all. Understood. But if you show me who you really are, that might change. Come back alive, and then I'll show you the merchandise. In Khan's thoughts. So the condition for the sale is to survive? Is that all? You're strange. Sorry? Do I need to clear the labyrinth to see the items? No, not quite. Then I'll go. Normally people tremble with fear, but why is he so calm? It feels like he's incapable of feeling fear at all. Where did he come from anyway? The old coot pondered. Well, he won't come back anyway, so it doesn't matter anymore. The old man straightened up in his chair and prepared, apparently, for his favorite pastime, relaxing in the labyrinth. The young man walked along a certain staircase passage, corridors and rooms. The structure of the first one is the same as in easy mode. It looks safe, no visible threat, but carefully stepping and whispering to himself, the young man suddenly heard some inhuman sounds. It can't be! His gaze fell on the corner of the room. There sat a rat of enormous size, its eyes glowing so brightly that they illuminated the room. A large rat appeared. A big rat? The monster that was a boss on the 5th floor of easy mode is just a regular enemy on the 1st floor here? The rodent lunged at the young man and bit him. Message: you received 10 damage. The defense of the big rat is weak, but... Flashbacks of past experiences with this vile and repulsive half-rat creature flashed through the young man's mind. It moved at an incredible speed, making it challenging to defeat. And such a monster is normal on the 1st floor? The difference is truly noticeable. The rat pounced at the warrior again, but this time the young man countered the attack with a block. It was fast, as expected. When we hunted this creature in easy mode, players had to work together to corner it until it tired out. Now, I'm all alone. My stats are even lower, so winning is nearly impossible. The young man silently pondered while reviewing his characteristics. No wonder Lee Tae-yeon escaped. Among all the previous players who cleared the 1st floor, no one engaged in battle with the big rat. That creature looked truly terrifying. Now I understand. The principle of rewards in this labyrinth is simple. Do something that others cannot, and earn fame that will be known to everyone. Attacking the rat, the fighter muttered, and you will receive a corresponding reward. My goal now is to become the strongest in this place. If I chase after it in terms of speed, I just have to predict where it's heading. It's a living creature that needs to breathe. Every creature has moments before taking action. Tension in leg muscles, chest raised. Now! Khan missed, but a notification appeared. The big rat fears you. Its resolve has diminished. The creature no longer attacked. It was frightened. With such a tiny brain, it must be difficult for her. She can no longer attack my ankles, so she will aim for the next easiest target. Considering its weak jumping ability, it will target the wrist, where leather protection capable of withstanding the bite of an animal was worn. The guy was quite confident, and easily figured out what needed to be done. The rat, as expected, made its final move right there. It's over for you, he calmly said. He thrust a rusty sword between her ribs. Fountains of blood spilled onto the floor. Message: you attacked. The large rat is incapacitated, taking more damage. You dealt 4 damage to the large rat. You dealt 5 damage to the large rat. After a few minutes, the guy returned to the store, holding the carcass of the slain creature in his hand. The old man was disgusted by what he saw. I'm back. Message: you can eat the meat of the large rat if you wish. Community chat. Kanju Hyuk. In a solo chat. Oh my goodness. Isn't the merchant too selfish? Why does he keep babbling instead of selling things? Lee Tae-yeon, in a solo chat. Is he like that with you too? Goodness, he should just sell and be done with it. What's with his behavior? I'd stab him, but I can't do that since I got beaten up. Ugh, it's so annoying. The old man is shocked by Khan's actions. You're still alive? Did you want me to die? The main character says with an absolute expression, placing the carcass of an unfinished beast on the table. The old man: no, not at all. Message: large rat meat. Quality, 98%. This meat from a large rat is edible. Large rat hide, quality, 95%. The hide taken from a large rat can help protect against the cold. Since this is a shop, can we sell items? How much will I get for this? The old man looked at the items and was in complete shock. You caught it? And it didn't even try to escape? The important thing is that I caught it. Why are you so surprised? In the old man's thoughts, it's really like this. And besides, they have excellent quality. The items are not damaged or dirty, which means he perfectly caught it. The old man stared at the juicy piece of meat. And this guy just entered the labyrinth. All right, Since you agreed to my conditions, I'll open the shop for you. What do you sell? Almost everything, so tell me what you need. By the way, do you have a tower shield? Tower shield? The large one? Yes, the one that requires 2 hands to hold. Why do you need a shield from such a wide range of items? To attack everyone at once. Oh, the former king really likes the brilliant ideas of the main character. That's the right answer. The golden door. The guy was a bit stunned as he watched what was happening. Although after what he had seen, I guess this is just the beginning. Message. Tower shield. Attack power +1, defense power +5. Quite sturdy, capable of withstanding many attacks. Judging by his facial expression, the guy understood that this was exactly what he wanted. This, more than enough? Such quality. In easy mode, you could get something like this at least at level 7. Khan takes the shield in his hands. It costs 500 gold. Right now I only have 243, which is half. Looks like I'll have to come back later. Need to catch 7 more large rats, the guy thought, placing the shield on the table, turning around and starting to descend towards the rats. I need to earn more gold. Don't worry about it. I'll give it to you for free. The old man took the shield and tossed it right into the hands of the young soldier. Message. You received the tower shield. What? You have almost 250 gold, right? I'm sure you can buy something with it. Just wait a bit. The old man took out a few magical vials from his equally magical storeroom. What? What's even happening? From Taeyeon's stories, I heard something completely different, the guy thought. Wait, why are you giving me so many items? You make such a fuss when I just decided to be kinder, the merchant said, shaking the vials. Just consider it an investment. An investment? The warrior was extremely surprised. You hush now, and now choose. You can buy all of this. The guy senses some catch. So I won't hear any details. Mostly liquid potions. Message. Stamina restoration potion. Restores 50% of stamina. Price, 200 gold. From ones that increase physical strength to ones that enhance speed and so on. They are all necessary for protecting the labyrinth, but none of them are urgently needed by me. I heard that it's difficult to obtain potions in single-player mode, and they also have a high mana cost. So it doesn't make sense to buy them for now. These potions could become a trap for me. Right now, I need to spend my resources on something more essential. Message. Plus 20% can be challenging to use. Price, 200 gold. Rough arrow. Attack power +1, regular sharp arrow. Price, 10 gold. It's useful to have something for a specific attack. This bow will significantly ease my life. How much will you give for the hide of a big rat? The guy asks. Considering its quality, it will be 70 gold. Then I'll sell it. Buy the bow and arrows. Before he could finish his sentence, the old man pulled out a bow and arrows from his magical storage. What's wrong with him? The young warrior wonders. Everything is completely different. Oh, right. You know that it's impossible to restore stamina inside the labyrinth, don't you? Yes, I know, he replied. There's a life fountain on the first level that can help you recover. You can use it as much as you want, but only while you're on the first level. I'll tell you where it is and mark it on the map too. There's a crazy old lady there, but I think you'll be fine. Lee Taeyeon also received information about the life fountain, but he spoke to her with disdain and reluctance. Why did he change his attitude like that? The well-equipped guy sets off on his journey. Is the difference only in words? Lee Taeyeon ran away and couldn't catch the big rat. But not only did I not run away, but I also caught it and then returned. Maybe that's why the merchant treats me differently? I'm not sure about many things. Message. Spirituality increased skill activated. In this skill, for example, the message says, agility increased by 1. Earlier, when I caught the big rat, I received a bunch of achievements and cool stuff. What? I just caught a weak mob, and they already gave me so much? Not only basic skills, but also those that I could only obtain at levels 20 and 40 in easy mode. There were a bunch of achievements in the interactive menu of the main character. Wow, I can't believe that so much is available in single-player mode already on the first level. Just amazing. Huh? What's this? Message. Spiritual skill, spirituality increase. Achievement. 100% allows you to see the world at a higher level. Souls of higher dimensions absorb the strength of the enemy with each of your victories. You have entered a state of mindless absorption. Your body and mind will merge. Miraculous power is imprinted on your soul. You have successfully achieved an increase in spirituality. You were unable to activate the skill due to your current location outside the labyrinth. Spirituality increase cancelled. A large rat appeared. Without hesitation, Thesan quickly raised his shield. He had encountered monsters in the corridor before, but Thesan raised an eyebrow when he saw the next window. A large rat appeared. A large rat appeared. Squeak! 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 Their squeaks echoed each other. 3 large rats approached Thesan. One was in front of Thesan, and the other 2 were behind him. You are in a difficult situation. You are confused. You feel fear. He wasn't excited. Although he knew he could do it, he had seen countless people die due to sudden changes. Thesan wasn't going to make the same mistakes. You made the right decision. You handled it with remarkable wisdom. All indicators have increased. You have acquired unwavering resolve. Skill composure increased by 1%. Thanks to the level enhancement effect, all conditions were now ideal. The width of the passage was equal to the height of a staircase in an average apartment. With this level, he could move freely in his body. Skill visibility enhancement increased by 3%. With the success of all his judgments, all his characteristics increased. If this is the current statistics, he can fight the big rat at an accelerated pace. Chance violation. Skill detection increased by 1%. He raised his shield. This time, he didn't reveal his ankle. He calmly looked at the big rat in front of him. Squeak! 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 The big rat squealed joyfully. The 3 of them surrounded the tall man. Even with low intelligence, they could see their victory. And this idea made them careless. Crash! Thesan took the first step. He lunged at the big rat in front of him. Squeak! Squeak! The big rat escapes in surprise. Overwhelmed by the sudden attack, it flees. The distance between them increased, so it will take some time for the monster to return to him. Squeak! Squeak! The big rat behind him, grinning quietly, rushed inside. Then, as if Thesan had been waiting for this, he quickly turned around. Squeak! Squeak! Suddenly the big rat stops, and the shield blocks it. However, a speeding body won't be stopped so easily. Thesan's shield crushed the big rat. Squeak! You have defeated the big rat. Your level has increased. Thesan removed the noisy system. Continuing, Thesan runs towards another rodent. Damn it! But this time it wasn't easy to deal with it. He quickly increased the distance, and the big rat, which had escaped in the meantime, runs towards him. With his back exposed, the rodent thought it was a perfect opportunity to attack him. Spinning around, Thesan stopped chasing the big rat and turned around. Another big rat that was rushing inside got scared and stopped, but it was too late. Crunch! Squeak! You have defeated the big rat. He instantly caught and killed 2 big rats. It was astonishing. Thesan headed towards the big rat cornered by the shield. The big rat behind him, grinning quietly, burst inside. Then, as if Thesan had been expecting it, he quickly turned around. Squeak! Squeak! Suddenly, the big rat stops, and the shield blocks it. However, a speeding body doesn't stop so easily. Thesan's shield crushed the big rat. Squeak! You defeated the big rat. Your level has increased. Thesan put away the noisy system. Continuing, Thesan runs towards another rodent. Damn! But this time it wasn't easy to deal with it. It quickly increased the distance, and the big rat, which had fled in the meantime, ran towards him. Thesan had his back open, and the rodent thought it was a perfect opportunity to attack him, rotating around. Thesan stopped pursuing the big rat and turned around. Another big rat, rushing inside, got scared and stopped, but it was too late. Crunch! Squeak! You defeated the big rat. He instantly caught 2 big rats and killed them. It was stunning. Thesan headed towards the cornered big rat, protected by the shield. Well, come on. The big rat is stunned by you. The big rat's thought process slows down. The big rat felt like it had seen a devil. It was scary, so its movements became very easy to read. Thesan struck the shield at the most appropriate moment. Crunch! Squeak, squeak! You attacked the big rat. The big rat is immobilized. Damage received by it is increased. You dealt 8 damage to the big rat. You dealt 9 damage to the big rat. You defeated the big rat. Excellent. Taesan smiled. He had dealt with many big rats before. Now he knew everything about these monster rodents. If a monster charges, he must retreat, turning his back to let the monster attack him without hesitation, and accordingly, attack, then finally defend. The information he gathered here was not small at all. Taesan opened the window again and left. Your level has increased. User is in a better condition. Health increased by 10 as a level-up reward. Agility has been permanently increased by 3 spiritual boost activated. Agility is continuously increased by 3. Even in a hopeless situation, you won without any suffering. Intelligence increased by 1. Cool-headedness skill increased by 5%. Visibility provision skill increased by 3%. Detection increased by 2%. My level is growing. Agility above 20. It was ridiculously fast considering how difficult it was to increase mastery by 1% before. In addition, he acquired a lot of gold, leather, and meat. If he sells them in the shop, he can earn a lot of money. Taesan walked through the passage with a smile. This time, no monster appeared. A square room. There was a small spring where no fish lived. You are the first one to discover the source of life bonus. For the first discovery, intelligence permanently increased by 1. Mana permanently increased by 2. Both are good for his stats. As intelligence increases, mana consumption decreases, so it will allow him to use more skills, not to mention the increase in mana capacity. This is a resting place in the labyrinth. Your enemies cannot enter this place willingly. The tranquility of this place induces sluggishness. Monsters can appear in most places in the labyrinth. Exceptions were mostly shops and these resting places. It was a kind of safe zone. Taesan cupped his hands and brought the spring water to his mouth. The cold liquid flowed down his throat. You are in a better condition. Any remaining fatigue suddenly disappeared. It felt like he had slept as much as he wanted. Taesan sat next to the fountain. The floor was made of warm sand, not hard gravel, so he wanted to lie down a bit. The water from the fountain reveals the player's best condition, but it can't do anything about the mental fatigue that gradually accumulates. For that, a quiet break is needed. Has the day already passed? Looking at his empty stomach, he thought it must be around this time. Now it was time to check the community. Kanjun Hyuk Solo. Are you really entering the labyrinth? Na Jae Young. Solo. I don't know. People who entered don't respond. Damn, I'm going crazy. Yoon Young Sok. Casual. Is there anyone who wants to form a group and break through to the first floor with me? Kang Jung Jun. Normal. I'm looking for information here. Does anyone know which monster we'll encounter first? Il Sang Solo. Damn, I'm really going crazy. Sure, most of the comments were written by solo players. Players from different modes can encounter each other, so they prefer to meet in person and solve everything through conversation rather than in the community. However, solo players don't have that option. Besides the community, they have no other means of communication. Scrolling through the community, Taesan laughed. Lee Taeyeon Solo. Guys, Yu, how did you all do this? Yu Lee Taeyeon, the strongest player who not only broke through the labyrinth but also survived. She was always confident, but unlike the future, she was very lost now. Really? Last time she was online, she said she was scared. Maybe she has always been a coward, hiding her true self until the end. Taesan scrolled through the community chat a bit more. It has only been a day since the labyrinth opened. And of course, many solo players were alive. Hunger doesn't kill anyone here. As far as Taesan remembers, the full-scale recording will start in a month. In solo mode, rewards are proportional to the level of difficulty. Lee Taeyeon once said that she missed countless rewards because she didn't know this. Using numerous tags, she always kills the boss monster but receives much fewer rewards than she deserves. But still, she was called the strongest player. In other words, if he could help her level up in solo mode, most likely she would help him in the future. Every step is valuable in the labyrinth. The results in the outside world won't change much. It can't be that bad, Taesan started typing. At first, a few pointers will be enough. Let's start with not making fun of the gatekeeper and ask the store owner about his goods. Although Taesan defeated the big rat, it's unlikely for others. He continues, when encountering, one should immediately run back and return to the store. And upon finding the location of the life fountain, the player should set out without delay. Survival is almost impossible without following this route, so it's better to write down everything before the trip and what to do afterward. Kang Taesan Solo. Quick guide on how to pass the first floor in solo mode. Basic strategy. I don't know if others will believe this. Believing in an unfamiliar source and entering the labyrinth would be very difficult. Even if the user believes in it, it's unknown how effective it will be. Out of 10,000 people, only Lee Tae-yeon survived. Still, without much expectation, took the bait and closed the community. Let's go. Taesan stood up and stretched. Until the user leaves the first floor, this place can be used without limitations. Another reason why Lee Tae-yeon survived and managed to kill the big rat in a week, entering and exiting this place. In other words, solo mode players usually return to the store after encountering the big rat, learn the location of the life fountain, and run straight here to the safe zone. What are you doing? At that moment, when he heard that from Lee Tae-yeon, he felt strange. If he were the creator of this labyrinth, it would be better to place the life fountain at the very beginning, since survival is completely impossible without this place. However, the labyrinth creators thought differently. They placed the fountain far away, resulting in most of them dying along the way. Whether it was merciful or cruel, it was hard to understand. In any case, the main thing now is that there are no restrictions on recovery here. A player can make full use of it before leaving the first floor. Skill. That was the only reason Taesan survived with such poor stats. Taesan couldn't deny that having skills was much more useful than statistics. Growl. At that moment, his stomach growled. Looking back, he hadn't eaten anything all day. But he knew he wouldn't die of hunger. He had to deal with this quickly. Otherwise, it could affect his stats. And that could be troublesome. He had to solve this problem, just slightly differently from others. Taesan opened his inventory and took out the meat. Big rat meat. Quality, 86%. This is big rat meat. Can be eaten if necessary. Although it was a rodent, because it was naturally big, the monster had a lot of meat. If you could subscribe right now, you really help this channel to achieve our goal 1,000 subscribers, and then we will make coolest manhwa for you each day. Thanks for watching and see you in a bit.